Are you guys ready to find out what character Stan Lee actually wanted to play in one of the MCU movies? How about finding the food that saw a spike in sales after being briefly mentioned in the Avengers? Well, in that case, we've got that and about 8 more crazy facts. So here are the 10 secret facts about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's dive right into it, shall we? They had a $200 million marketing budget for Avengers Endgame. We're going to be starting this video off with a little bit of finances. Only if spending $200 million on advertising is a little bit of finances. But in our world, that's a lot of money. And they spend it on a movie that's been on and off the top spot for the highest grossing movies of all time. Still, some fans have been scratching their heads as to why MCU would do this. After all, the movie was definitely going to be one of the most popular movies in the world. It already had a global fan base. Well, if we look at the difference between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, the difference is almost $600 million. In our books, spending $200 million to get an ROI of 300% is a no-brainer. They would have been successful even without spending the money, but that $200 million brought in an extra $600. That's what a wider fan base and changing the demographics does to a movie. Writers refused to write the script for Iron Man. What would you say if we told you that Iron Man raised all of the eyebrows of the writers that were asked to write the script? Well, that's actually what happened. About 30 writers said hell to the no regarding the movie script. But why? Well, the reason is simple. Iron Man was considered an obscure character that the writers felt wouldn't resonate with audiences. On top of that, you had Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark, which caused a lot of problems with producers, as he was still clearing up the stains from his troubled past. But seems like all of those 30 guys are now kicking themselves for the decision. Shawarma sales went through the roof. Do you know how many people visited Katz's Delicacies in NYC after it got featured on When Harry Met Sally? Now, we don't have the exact numbers, but we just know that it's a lot. That's what happened with shawarma, the Arab dish that everyone wanted to try. This was after Iron Man said, "Have you ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it." One joint in LA said that they saw their sales increase by 80% after the release of the movie.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what.
Stan Lee has a Wikipedia page of all his cameos. Have you noticed that Stan Lee, the creative leader of Marvel Comics, has brief appearances in almost every MCU movie? Well, we got a little curious. We did a little research, and we found out that there is an entire page of Stan Lee cameos on Wikipedia. Now, the MCU appearances are but the tip of the iceberg. In fact, he has also appeared in the 2 Deadpool movies, 3 of the X-Men movies, and then the Spider-Man trilogy in the early 2000s. After that, we also had the 2 cameos in the Fantastic Four movies. Hulk, Daredevil, Big Hero 6 are also on the list of his cameos.
As for you, now is your chance to do better.
Grab those Captain America PECS. Haley Atwell plays Peggy Carter, Captain America's love interest. Peggy also has a special place in her heart for Chris, especially when he's shirtless, like during the scene when the scientist actually created Captain America and gave him a powerful body, which was ripped. Now, Haley just couldn't resist and not touch those man boobs, as she calls them. Because she played it off really cool, the director liked it and told them to redo that split-second touch so they can put it in the movie.
2, 1.
Thor Ragnarok had a completely different name in Japan. Because the Japanese audience wasn't too familiar with the concept of Ragnarok, the title of the movie in Japanese became Mighty Thor: Battle Royale. The second part of the title was a reference to one popular Japanese novel in which the main characters, champions, were forced to fight to the death in an arena, something resembling the Roman gladiators. As we all know, the Grand Master organized the same type of fights. The title fits like a glove. See how far the marketing department goes in order to make a movie successful? Fans were furious that fans didn't include one character in the Avengers. Wakanda Easter egg. It was 2015. Avengers Age of Ultron took the world by storm. And the one thing that got fans talking was featuring the entire country of Wakanda in the movie. The rumors began to spread, theories began to rise, and then, 3 years later, Black Panther came out. But did you know that by 2015, this Easter egg was getting old? The MCU featured Wakanda on one of Nick Fury's maps in Iron Man 2. That was way back in 2010.
What dialect?
WAKANDA, Wakanda.
They used 4 Black Widows for Age of Ultron. How did Scarlett Johansson manage to shoot an entire action movie while being pregnant? Simple. The studio hired 3 stunt doubles that would do the major stunts while she had to do all of the talking for Avengers Age of Ultron. And Joss Whedon even said that they wouldn't like her to be passive throughout the movie. That's why they managed to make the movie include a lot of action and still keep her in. And we found out that the name of one of the stunt women was Heidi Moneymaker. Fans were furious they didn't include WASP in the Avengers cast. Avengers fans were furious to find out that one of the main superheroes in the Avengers wasn't included in the movie. Her name is Wasp, and she's the girl responsible for the name. In fact that the movies didn't include her and Ant-Man in the Avengers made fans furious. However, since the studio could pretty much hear the fans booing, they decided to include her in Avengers Endgame. You can see a short scene of her with the wings when all of the superheroes get together to defeat Thanos in Endgame. Stan Lee wanted to play Odin. When we found this out, we were just as shocked as you were. Can you imagine Stan Lee playing the most powerful god in all of the Norse mythology? We just don't see him as that type of guy that could pull that role off. And yes, Stan Lee did say that it was one of his favorite characters, and that it would be cool if he could play him. But he didn't pressure anyone to cast him in the movies, which is probably why the MCU went with Anthony Hopkins, a man that can seriously pull off such a role. I mean, just looking at him makes you want to stand up straight.
You have betrayed the express command of your king.
On a related note, do you think Stan Lee would have made a good Odin? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.